Okay, can you hear me now? I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Uh, I tried earlier, and I sat around. Can you hear me now? Okay, I think I can hear me. All right. Okay, so it's lit. Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. It's sad that I did a whole hour and I did not have no volume. That's my bad. Thank you to like one of the people that comments on here, that comes on here. She inboxed my Instagram, and I already had went out somewhere, and she's like, "Girl, wasn't no sound on your video," and I'm like, "What?" I go all the way back to the video, and there was no sound for that whole video. I was literally having a whole conversation by myself, to myself, for myself, like. I was, and yes, and I can see your comments now because I was like, you know what? I could have looked on the phone and looked at the comments. So I can see the comments. I don't know if I can see the comments from here. Okay, I can see the comments from here too on the YouTube. I had to look at a video. I know you probably could see it too, right? I had to look at a video to see what was going on because I was like, I really did a whole video and ain't no sounds on that. And I'm sitting here like, la la la. I'm showing y'all stuff. I felt mad stupid. I was like, wow, it's no sound. So let me do my disclaimer. This is another episode of Candace Michelle Views where I give my opinion on what I'm viewing on any mainstream media platform that you can think of. Part two of this quick rant. This is supposed to be a quick rant. I just wanted to defend my work of what I've been doing thus far, which was my initial videos of Katt Williams being young Pharaoh. In my opinion, the same people, or if not direct descendants, but now that I've seen so much, I'm convinced it's the same exact person. So I just wanted to come up here. Okay, hey, thank you for making it. Whoever's here, thank you for making it, and thank you for letting me know you could hear me because that was embarrassing. This is my first time on a webcam because the way I was doing it before, there's issues with what I was using before. So I was like, I'm not going to not make videos because of whatever happened with what I was using before. So I'm like being innovative and I'm using my webcam and I'm going to just try to do this for now until I can figure something else out. But yeah, because people are weird. But anyway, so it's not going to stop my little shows. So I was seeing that they were writing that Ralph Transvent. This is what my live is about, me defending my Katt Williams and young Pharaoh accusations, in my opinion, being the same person. So this is the quick rant that I had last time. I'm not going to give the same I had gave when I first came up earlier. Like, I don't even remember everything I said, but I had everything down pat. So now that I came back, I'm like, and then I had to watch a video to see how to get this together. And I did watch like 20-minute video. Now it's going to be a little draining, a little bit, probably like don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I'm going to try to make the best of it. Yeah, so I came across them saying, like, not them, I just came on my feed where they were saying Ralph Transvant from New Edition could be young Pharaoh or a descendant of young Pharaoh. I was like, okay, all right, listen, they all kind of look like in their own ways because I think, like I said, they're all from the same country, blah, 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 blah. But my issue is that no one actually did a video or comes across to say Katt Williams is young Pharaoh. You do all these videos, you do all these celebrity videos saying they're this person, they're that person, but can't nobody see the resemblance, the behavior, the mannerisms of Katt Williams and young Pharaoh, but you'll skip over Katt Williams and then say Ralph Transvent is young Pharaoh? Yeah, I felt like that was damage control because how I hit them with the fact that young Pharaoh was in that Airbnb, probably not too far from his home because he was doing a comedy show in Houston, Texas as Katt Williams, that hit a point, and then they tried to do some damage control throwing out this out Transvent accusation. I'm like, really? Really? After I just literally showed you guys that they were basically most likely in the same, young Pharaoh tells us everything he does. Like he's like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going to do this, he never said nothing about this Airbnb run last weekend. He didn't say anything about it. Then he had the OnlyFans, aka the girl that peed on herself and got sent home and came back. Now it's his baby girl. She wasn't there. It looked like he sent her home because he had her on a FaceTime when he was in that Airbnb. And he was like saying something like, oh, your son is here. So I realized, okay, he sent her home. Also, the chef Yak, was not there either. So I felt like only people that probably was there was the twins, the ones that got sent from the factory, from the agency to young Pharaoh right away to be his new handler, watchers, make sure he's doing whatever he's supposed to be doing, in my opinion. So I feel like the girl, the OnlyFans girl, and which I think her name is Martina, if I'm not mistaken, and also Chef Yak, I feel like he doesn't trust them enough, or they should not know what he's doing when he transitions into Katt Williams, in my opinion. Okay, and we're gonna go over a couple things that young Pharaoh did when he addressed the Adrenochrome accusations that I made as well. He did a whole video on it, and I'm going to go over just quickly what I did last video, which shows young Pharaoh in a Scully cap, right? I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just feel like here he is in his Scully cap, and if you look, it's like you can see his dreads and stuff in there, so the Scully cap kind of sticks up. And then, as you can see, Katt Williams had that same Scully cap on recently Friday when he was doing his stand-up. I mean, people could wear a Scully cap all they want, right? But it's just like this Pacific kind of Scully cap. He's wearing a Pacific kind of Scully cap, and it's just weird that they both like this kind of Scully cap, okay? and Katt Williams wore plenty of the Scully caps before. And it looks like it's stuff in there. Like, Katt Williams should not have no hair, right? But yet, here in this video, let me see if I can bring this down a little. Here in his video, it looks like his hair, like braids or some type of dreads, or like, like he's covering. This is not coming out good like it was. So I'm not sure why. Yeah, if you could look at the top and everything, it looks just like how young Pharaoh's is, like where it's stuff in there. And if you look at the Katt Williams footage of his video, it's like 33 minutes or something like that, 30 something minutes, where the material was basically him talking about the ancestors' history, his white friends, same material as young Pharaoh. It's just weird that you guys are not putting this connection together, and you jumped over Katt Williams and went straight to Ralph Tresvant. Just sounds like I'm on to something, that I'm directly on point, and people are trying to help and cover it. Okay? Because no one's touching it. No one's going near it. And it's weird because it's overwhelming evidence that I gave since last year, where Katt Williams had a fake fight, a scripted fight with a little kid, and he went over, he was throwing signs up, and then he went over to a brick wall and then proceeded to try to act like he was getting into a fight with this kid, where it was being, a lot of signals was being given, and he did a fake whirlwind kick. He did like a whole spin kick. Katt Williams, he was doing a whole, and it was like he didn't put no speed into it. Like he was fake kicking because he didn't want to hurt the boy or whatever. So it was like a fake old looking kick and things like that. But I'm telling you, this is the same defense, the same line of defense that young Pharaoh uses. He goes straight into a whirlwind kick. So this is the Scully caps, the whirlwind kick. I mean, come on, it's common sense. They sound exactly alike. Katt Williams kept changing his voice in the skits that he was doing. He was doing like a deep voice, like, yeah, that. Then he'll go back into his high voice. So it's just like he's trying to tell you, like, I could change my voice up. I don't know how much more I could convince you guys. It's not about convincing. It's just about me just like I'm never really wrong. Like I'm really good in my intuitions and things like that. Where if I'm gonna say something, 9 times out of 10, it's on point. Cat Williams used to wear his hair out. He used to wear his hair out. Ever since he changed his role and he fell off the map and started doing his young Pharaoh character, he doesn't show his hair anymore because I think of the dreading situation. I mean, have anyone seen him with his hair out like he used to wear it in a long time? And I believe that this was a piece too. I believe this was like some type of piece of hair, like some type of unit. Okay? So I'm not done with young Pharaoh yet. It's gonna be a quick little rant about him, and then I just could not sit there and let people say he's like reminding them of Ralph Transvent, but no one even mentions Katt Williams after Katt Williams just literally did a stand-up show in Texas, Houston, and young Pharaoh was in an Airbnb, which they probably accommodated him in that small little Airbnb because comedy skits don't really make much money, so that accommodation was very tight. You could tell it was like a very tight little corner. He'd never put anybody on where he was going, what he did, and that's not something that he usually does. He'll let you know about everything. And then a lot of his little entourage was not there, okay, or was not around at the time. I guess I'm assuming when he did his little skit, and they were able to come once the skit was over. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, because that was Friday, and then like Saturday or something, he did a video, but it don't matter because he was already done with his gig. So another thing I wanted to hit was his adrenochrome. When I accused him of the adrenochrome, wait, I want to read the comments. Hey, Spawn in the 2020s. Check out his channel. He's a YouTuber as well. I do check out his videos whenever you guys get a chance. If you're not already subscribe to him. He has the same kind of work that we do where we're like on backs about all these scamming. It's like, just tell us the truth. If not, then don't expect us to be so supportive when we find out that you're lying and you're into just trying to mind control people and push them have them pushed one way, and then boom, now you're like anti what you were originally pushing, and it's people that looked up to you that still like, well, maybe I should change my mind and hate black women and hate this. And then he's not even talking about black women like myself. He's talking about more of the women of his descendants of Asian land, and stuff like that, those African Asiatic women. He's not even talking about us because none of those women that he deals with are of native to this America. They're not natives to here, they're from somewhere else. One moment, and okay, yeah. So just the quick comment, he said that he spoke to young Pharaoh. Spawn in 2020 said he spoke to young Pharaoh, and he's told to give spiritual knowledge without any proof behind it. My problem with young Pharaoh is that I actually spoke to him a while back, and I can tell that he got the reply. Oh, he got replaced. Yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to say. Like, I believe when people start to sign these 360 deals where they're going to actually get on and be on a bigger platform, where they gave him that platform of like 100,000 views to like 1,000,000 views that he's not nowhere near getting anymore. Even before he started to act weird, he was not getting those same views when they took him down his big platform. These are people that gets replaced, and like when he first came out, he was already under a scandal of Sandra, whatever her name is, and all these things are just like very coded situations. Very, I don't want to do this, but it is very coded, like the situations with the Sandra situation and other things where they're just doing a street play of what they have done to us throughout history, and they're just constantly doing street plays just to get our energy. And young Pharaoh is no different than playing the same roles. And that's how he interlude into it. That's how you know that something isn't right, because any regular person would not interlude into such a big story and be able to have a platform from that big story, and her family hears about him and reaches out. Like, this is just all, you already know that's just signs of scam and scripted. Like, anyway, so, yeah, so I do want to go over with young Pharaoh as well with the adrenochrome. I accused him of being on it because I live in the hood. I've seen plenty of people on a lot of stuff, like everything you could think of. I've been around or seen or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that wasn't crack. I'm pretty sure it's not cocaine. I'm pretty sure it's not weed or wine or liquor. Um, not not none of that stuff. He was very adrenaline rush. His eyes was bulging out of his sockets, but his eyes were dilated. So I just feel like he was on an adrenaline rush. He was super adrenaline in that video that I showed with his eyes popping out. So that's where I was like, this got to be some type of like possibly adrenochrome situation. So I do think that he responded back to my video. And he responded when I first was accusing him of being Katt Williams. He responded immediately after that and used a line of Katt Williams and was like, "Oh, put a Chrysler near. If you put a Chrysler near Benz, or whatever that line was that Katt Williams used a long time. It's like one of his original skits. When I first originally accused Katt Williams of being Young Pharaoh did another live and put in that Katt Williams line and was like winking or something, like trying to say that line. I'm like as if he was like trying to antagonize me, like, yeah, like I am him, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm just going to play around and use that line. So I was just like, that's weird because I just did a video and then boom, here he is saying a Katt Williams line. So no different than me accusing him of adrenochrome, and here he is replying, trying to explain adrenochrome. As I showed earlier, he did a whole video of adrenochrome and its connection to extraterrestrials. And as he said out his own mouth, he is a descendant of an extraterrestrial, and he was kidnapped by them and touched by them. I don't know the extent of it, but we're gonna play it. We're gonna play some of it because I just wanted to go over some key stuff that he was talking about in this video. Okay, let's let the ads play. He has his little monetization. I believe that's why he switches pages up, because once they take the monetization out, I think he makes a new one because it is about him making his little checks off his monetization, which I don't care. But if he's going to do it with fake soap operas between him and his BMs, it's like, bruh, like, you don't need to make money that way. Just do whatever you need to do normally instead of making all this drama and thinking, oh, that's what you guys want. And it really seems like that is what some people want because that's where they get the most views. And I'm like, don't y'all know it's fake soap opera drama though? Scripted. And he already has said, and I've been told you guys that's what it was. So let's watch where he talks about the adrenochrome. Okay, so I don't like Young Pharaoh's music, but I cannot lie. I cannot lie. This song, I don't like the song, but the beat does thump. I said that in my last video. I was like, when it came on, so I might as well just repeat it. The beat did thump. I did tap my foot, and like if you listen to it, it's like a marching band where the big drummer when he go boom boom boom, like, so if you listen. Like you hear the beat. The minds are with the West. Is why one must focus. Let's get it. I'm just like I'm telling you. I wanna run and just doing all the like a name. I wanna run with the ninja. Now I don't know about running with ninjas. Like I run with niggas. I run with nagas, right? But he wanna run with the Chinese, Japanese, Jamaican monk ninjas. Go for it. He is an outlander. That's his descendants. They want to pretend they're aliens because they've been alien out of the inland. Go for it if that's what he wants to run with. But I run with the nagas. I run with the nuggers. He can run with the ninjas. and they could do their little fake kung fu and pretend that they're gonna beat somebody butt with a whirlwind kick. But when he come across when he run through a nagger, he gonna see how some of that stuff ain't gonna really work out for him at the end, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna give him his little credit off the beat. And this is how I know that he probably is connected somehow, because where did you even get access to a decent beat and things like that? It's not easy to get. You always get like beats and people have beats, but you could tell it's not like really mixer with professional equipment. So I feel like this beat was pretty up there with the mixing. And as I stated, it did dump. But anyway, I'm not promoting his music or his acting, whatever. He tries to sell. Everybody's trying to sell people. So let's get to the video.
Adrenochrome is, and you've heard Robert Still speak on this as well. Rest in peace, Robert Still. Adrenochrome.
Now let me just stop you right there. You see how he keeps shouting out that CIA agent, and you already know the CIA is connected to MK Ultra, is connected to, like, I don't care what kind of CIA, NAACP, Black Panther, I don't care what you name, they're all connected. They're all a government situation, a government, a orchestrated, you know what I'm trying to say, like a group, you know, where they're sitting around with their Starbucks and they're conspiring, and they're just always trying to get into everyone that they feel like is sheep heads. Like they're always conspiring to harass people's minds. So let's continue. Just to let you know, he's a government person.
In the blood. At the peak of fear in a child. And a child is the ideal target of adrenochrome because children are still pure chemicals. They haven't taken in the toxins biologically, so the blood is still pure, you know.
Okay, it's a little fly flying around here, so my bad. I want to stop there as well. So basically, he's saying the adrenochrome is basically you can't get it from an adult because they all toxic, right? They're basically just saying that the children are virgins, that they haven't intermixed with another person to give off bacteria and all kinds of toxics that we exchange once we start to become physical with one another, and on top of drinking and probably smoking and stuff as well, but mostly virginity. And that goes for girl and boy. So that's why they focus on young children. They don't even go for like 14, 15. They try to get them super young. So let's keep it going.
That template is still pure. And when you pique a child's fear, through torture, etc., they produce a form of, adrenaline. So you got adrenaline, and then you got, oh my goodness. I did it's going to be called catecholamines. And you have epinephrine and neuroepinephrine. So those are two, forms of adrenaline. Epinephrine, neuroepinephrine, they're what you call catecholamines. I'm saying the word correctly. Now, the other level of those catecholamines, or the highest level, is called...
So, mind you, this is the same guy that constantly says he wants to have, like, some type of children. He wants to open, like, a daycare. He wants to do, like, the same thing with that lady with the turkey egg, where she was like, I'm at the border. Do you want one? Like, hit me because I'm about to go get... Like, trust me, I'm telling you, these people are up to no good with the border and all the native children of Mexico, the 50 states, and a little bit of Canada. Not a lot of Canada, because unfortunately Canada has been compromised by the A people, the A-R-A, y'all. You know what A means, like E-H-E-A-E-H, where, like, I used to watch, like, African movies. I used to watch a lot of them. I used to like Van Vicker. I watched all Van Vicker African movies and they're promoting those movies. They're producing those movies in Nigeria, Lagos. And most of the time when they're saying, like, in those movies, they'll be like, oh, I'm going to go abroad and study for school, blah, 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 blah. Most of those Haitian or those African people, they are going to Canada. And what is this? Yeah, so they're going to Canada, and Come on, what is going on? See, this is why I don't use this. But anyway, they end up going to Canada, so we already know who has taken Canada over. The same people that's trying to take over the 50 states now, and also the parts of Mexico, the not going past Central. We're staying in the main American lands of Native America. So yeah, so they're tearing up the children, no matter if it's the Mexican border, if it's over here. They tearing them up, in my opinion. He already said that Chef Yak. I don't know how he became a chef. I thought he was the bodyguard. I don't know. Whatever. I guess he's busting bacon and busting dudes. I don't know. But he said that Chef Yad got stopped coming back from the border, and he was like, "Oh, don't say nothing crazy, but tell him what you doing, you trapping or whatever." Like why would you have to stop him and say don't say nothing crazy? But when he said that he got stopped at the border, he like, "We not selling no weed, we not selling no drugs." So what are you selling? What would he be saying that was be crazy? Why are you making a run to the border? And why are you over here trying to explain adrenochrome saying, "Oh, when you torture kids and this is at the height of this," like he done chemically figured it out for his own supply. And when he does take it, he get these bulged eyes and he's jumping all over the place and he's hula hooping through the whole video, where his adrenaline is racing. So I felt like my accusations, he's trying to explain it now in like his best format. Now I'm gonna continue.
Beings taste for this chemical, or at least at
Okay.
Now, the other level of those catecholamines, or the highest level, is called adrenaline. And it is said these beings have a taste for this chemical, or at least
okay. He's saying the extraterrestrials have a taste for this chemical, so that means they're going to need a hella supply of it. Since they're all aliens over there and they're all extraterrestrials, including him, that means he has to have a taste for it. Where am I going wrong at? How are you one of them, but you don't participate in none of the adrenochrome necessity because he's acting like they need it. As he said, there is a need for it.
Satan, this chemical, but they can only get it via the production of a terrorized child. So I said it to say this, sacrificing humans or, sacrificing people to God or things like that. That whole concept, from my research, comes from people sacrificing other people to extraterrestrials through contract agreement, through contractual agreement. And with that being said, that is Adrenochrome's connection to terrestrial. I believe the government or somebody on the planet Earth has made a deal with a group of beings that do not belong on this planet with.
And it's not this planet. It's just this area. Because I already told you that the Tatarians or whatever in China, Russia, they was already eating people back behind in Mexico when they came and took over Mexico. They started to do a lot of sacrificing in those pyramid areas. So this is nothing new. This is not something out of this world. It's in the other side of the world because they already explained to you it's two different worlds when they came to this new world, which is already been here, but to them something new, which it wasn't really that new to them. But anyway,
that's for them. Like we're the cattle, we're the sheep, and I believe that deal, that within that contract, it says that for a specific amount, I'm assuming for advanced technology, we would be exchanged, for food at a rate of 10%.
And what I tell you about the number 10 to them, everything is by 10 times, 10 this, 10 that. So that's why when they say, "Oh, this happened like 3,000 years ago," they're doing it by scientific method. And if you know math, scientific method is by the 10th power. So that's why they always use 10 this, 10 that is by the 10th power. So they're timing things by 10. So if it was 300 years ago times 10 by the 10th power going backwards in their spectrum of scientific numbers, it would be 3,000 years ago. but it's really just 300 years ago. I could use an example of when I showed y'all the scale already, when it starts at 0 and then you get into the negative of nano, micro, whatever. And that's what they love. They love the nano, micro, blah, blah, blah. And then you get into regular mega, whatever, with our information, with our where we live. So everything they're doing is to the 10th power on the scientific method side. And an example of the time frames is like if you ever watch that show Outlander. It comes on Stars. I love that show. They always try to go into fairy tale land when they try to explain stuff they feel like they don't want to make it regular, so they try to up it an ante and make it seem like it's magical, mystical, lucky charm situations going on. Where it's really just regular crap going on. They're just fucking, they're just trying to make themselves look a little bit better because we are the city of lights. Like we got lit up over here because of the Niagara Falls. We have the capacity to make a lot of electronical, a lot of lights, a lot of built out situations here. So when you got our stuff compared to their stuff, you're going to have to use your imagination to make it seem like, woo, look what we got going on over here, woo. But like I said, with the show Outlander, the lady Claire, the main character, the woman, she was like some type of witch considered to them because she was from America. Not from America, but she was in America, and she's pretending to touch these stones. Of course, the stones is like a replica. It's a decode. You got to decode things. The stone is like they're Stonehenge people. They build with stone. They build with concrete. That's why a lot of their stuff is in ruins and rubble because it's not, that stuff does not last, and we do not build with that. But anyway, she touches the Stonehenge or something, and then boom, she ends up in like the 1600s or whatever, and meet the dude, and he's wearing like kilts and stuff because he was from what is that like Scotland or whatever. And then you saw when she was running around with him, sometimes they don't know where they was going on boats, and they end up in Jamaica, and then they ended up here. If you watch that show, you see what I'm talking about. And as soon as she touched the stones to go back to America, boom, she's in the 1960s, the 1950s, the 1970s. She's back into like, but then when she goes back there, she's in like the 1600s. It's all going on at the same time. If you have a brain, they're just trying to explain to you when you go over there, you in the 1600s, and they over there warring, and they over there wearing those stupid hats and those outfits, and then when you come over here, they driving and they chilling because America was a classy place. When they get over here, they see how classy America was. Okay? They came over here littering and stuff because they litter and stuff over there. They don't have the same system as us. I'm not going to get into history right now. This is about Pharaoh. I already explained in my last video that I'm going to do my next live is going to be history, and it's going to be comparing Adam, God's creation, with Jesus, so-called God's son. We're going to compare the two. We're going to see what's the differences and things like that, because I feel like they're very telling. Some people think that Jesus or Adam is a person when it's actually just a description of a people or a time or era. And we're going to get into that in the history lessons, and I'll get into the time frames as well. But I just want people to understand the time frames of when young Pharaoh is talking about extraterrestrials, alienated people living in a old time or a different world, is because of the difference of how we have here and what they have there. It's the only difference. They are living in the scientific time frame, and we're living in a different. We're in the megas, they're in the micros. That's just they're like Antarctica, and we're like the Arctic. It's hard to explain, but I will try to explain that as much as I can. As you know, I believe Antarctica is going into is it Antarctica or the Arctic? But the North Pole, which is the Arctic, is going into what is it, like 3 months of darkness? Like they're not going to have any sunlight for like 3 months or so. Like this is because this, like, if the sun is just revolving, we're revolving around like a circle. Why wouldn't they get any sunlight for 3 months? It just doesn't make no sense, because if you're revolving, if I put something in the microwave and it revolves, a certain part of my food isn't going to be cold because the microwave didn't touch it, because it's circulating for a reason. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, you got to put two and two together on what's going on here. But we're gonna get back to young Pharaoh. I want to skip over to Adrenochrome because it's common sense that he's up to no good with the border. Him making runs to the border. He was hopped up that day. He was all over the place, adrenaline up. If you ever saw like it was like if you watch young Pharaoh here and there, especially some of his old stuff. At one point, he cut himself. Where he tried to pull his knife out, and the knife must have been sharp as hell because he ended up cutting himself. And instead of him just going on and like fixing it, he started to lick it and lick it. And then even when he got up to like patch it up, he licked it one more time. And I'm like, like, what is this? So at first I'm thinking maybe vampire or something, but obviously he just got the taste of he likes the taste of blood. He probably takes his little adrenochrome vice, that's probably his little thing. But I hope I'm still up. Let me just do a quick check because this is like a new way of me doing things, and I just don't want to be talking like I was last. That was sad. Okay, yeah, I'm still up. Okay, yeah. So another thing with Young Pharaoh, I'm going to be done. His whole jacket, his whole legal jacket is fake. It's a scripted, fake story. He is not any gangster. The only thing he's gangster of is coming in front of our faces and pretending he's like one of us and stuff. And he's really an undercover CIA agent, owned by the government, born into it. He showed a picture of his father saying he was military based or whatever, and the man looked like Jamaican. So it's clear as day he's one of those infiltrator people that came in upon our army to fight arms against us, like how the Haitians fought with the French to disarm and tear us up. And his father probably wasn't no different because he was Jamaican fighting in our army, like really. Maybe right now, but when people started to come here, that in those age days, he should not have been in our army. But anyway, that's another story for history as well. Um, so his legal jacket is fake. You got to think of night. You ever saw the show? And I always bring it to shows because they are telling the truth in the shows if you could decode it right. They tell you a lot of stuff, and if you're smart enough to take in what they're really trying to explain to you, you'll see what's been going on here and how they trick us and then say stuff right in our face. But if you're just watching it, you're just watching it. But if you're watching it and you're lasting on to everything that's going on here, and you're putting pieces together, then you'll understand what's going on. So the show on A&E is called 90 Day Lockup. So a lot of these people think that these are regular people coming in doing a stint in jail trying to get information to see who's giving drugs to like the guards, who's in there running rank, and can you figure out that's what the show is for, and they're supposed to get a check or whatever for it. But as you can see, when they tell you the background of those people, they're usually military based people that's done something with security based or things of that nature where it's not just some regular smojo coming in to these jails for 90 days trying to figure out and be a mole in those jail cells. So don't think for 1 second that they only do it for 90 days. Because did you not see the episode where one of the guys said, I've been in here for 90 days and he did such a good job where he was finding out mad stuff and being a part of mad stuff where they kept him in there. And he was in there for like a good 100 or something days. And who knows how long they kept him in there because he was doing such a great job. So let's be honest. Some of these people could be in there for years doing a hell of a job for whoever and then come home to other deals and other situations. Okay? So young Pharaoh's supposed to have went to jail for a gun that was not his. But you got to think about it. The situation of the guy that he says gun, this guy supposedly, I'm not saying the murder happened with the gun at the time he got caught, but this guy supposedly had done some type of vicious murder. Another fake Jack, the boy was supposed to be 15, that's coded for 6. Like, this is all coded stuff. All right? I'm not even sure if that boy was even a real person and really got murdered. You will have to look into stuff like this because they are super weird where they'll have families, everybody is playing their parts and they'll pretend somebody, or they'll be sacrificing people for real, and the family be aware of it. I'm not sure exactly if people are really getting sacrificed. That's my only question to it all, is that they really are going through rituals and killing people because that's what they believe in. They believe I have something in here where they say, with like the Mexican and stuff, they say like death is an honor, just like with the Arabs, where they put like a bomb on these little kids. They say like death is an honor, and you go on to be a king in the next life if you give your life. So I'm not sure if these people are really sacrificing or not, but if so, it is a good thing to these people. Okay, and they do their rituals, and they gotta prove their loyalty, and they move on to other things for this company. Listen to how young Pharaoh say through contract, the sacrifices, this and that. He already explained to you, and he said the government, they going to save people out of this world that aren't supposed to be on this planet. Please pick up on that stuff. He said government first, contracted, or just let's think of Jason Bourne. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Contracted people. So think of A&E, 90-day lockup. Young Pharaoh was in jail. Pretend never didn't get a touch on his chin. They didn't touch a hair. They didn't touch a hair on him. And he's upstate New York. I know the most gangsters or the most known people that got into scuffle. Like, you're not getting into no fights upstate New York. You're not. It's like those are the worst jails you could probably get into. And I'm not sure about everybody else with their jails, but upstate, when you go upstate, it kind of they got places called Fish Kill, Something Kill, like, and then you drive in there, I don't even be wanting to stop in them stores. Because I be looking like these are areas that you just feel like, and then you're going up and down these hills because you could tell they done paved over a lot of probably like mounds of people that probably died, or like that's probably why it's called Fish Grill, or Grave something great. Like, it's all kinds of places, and you're just like, you don't like driving up there, you don't want to be around there, and let alone be locked up there. So for him not to have a hair touched on his chin just don't sound right. Then was taken right into PC and was held there through the whole time. Sounds like in 90 days when they get worried and they don't want nothing to really happen to these people, they'll put their hand up on their arm and then boom, they get taken. So anyway, I'm going to prove that had to be somewhat near the case, because you're not beating none of these cases. Like, I barely was able to beat any of my little cases off of like marijuana and stuff. They had me pleading guilty to everything. I had one time they tried to make me plead guilty to an assault, and I was like, I'm not having that on my record. Like, I understand marijuana and stuff, and they're supposed to get closed and sealed, but what's the point of having all this stuff on my record? I'm not even like a criminal like that. They just want to mess up your name. So if you try to ever get like a federal job, it'll be a reason why you can't. When they just pick and choose who they want to have in the federal and in the in the government jobs, not city but federal and stuff. So they try to eliminate people all the time, where it's like, oh well, I can't get it because of this, and it's like they really didn't want you in the first place. But anyway, so the paralegals and them, they work together. They always try to make you plead guilty because they don't want their cases to be in the red. Because when your case is in the red, you can always take it back to court or whatever, because it's not a closed case necessarily, because you never pled that you did any of that stuff. And they can never really 100% prove anything unless they get you in the black, where you're guilty, you're admitted to it, or it's overwhelming, and you're in the black now. So a lot of these cases in the red, they want in the black, so they're trying to make you plead guilty to every little thing you could think of, so they don't have to ever worry about being wrong or being sued or being whatever. So the fact that young Pharaoh pretends that he was able to find loopholes in the system, if you get caught with a gun, even if it's not your gun, you go down for being in the vicinity of these crimes. Like, even if you was around for the crime, you do time for that. If you was a part of it, if something happened to somebody and that gun had any kind of bodies, even if it wasn't for that day, just you being around people doing that, you get accused of it as well. If you get caught with the people, if you get caught with that, you go down for it. That's just the way it goes. Whether it was his or not, that's just the way it goes in courts. That you're responsible as well, because you're running with the crew that's doing this weird stuff. So the fact that he thought he was finding some type of loophole for it doesn't make any sense, because you still go down for it. So his friend, the one that supposedly had went to jail for a body or something like that, a vicious crime, and yet is here home to tell you the story about it, you could tell that these are all government people. Now let's listen to the friend.
This shows that I believe totally removed. They don't have evidence. This shows that I believe you should do this video because I have a associate degree in criminal justice.
Now, can somebody explain to me how he would have an associate's degree in criminal justice and he did 7 years in prison? Are they giving college degrees in prison? What would he be doing with that degree if he's already been accused of a murder? And how would you get off of a murder? Like this is the same story that young Pharaoh tries to give you guys of him beating cases, and now here go his best friend being able to be the same kind of genius and do the same kind of way to get out of a case and beat his own case after 7 years of doing in jail, and now also has an associate's degree. These people work for the government. That they not the CIA, they're not, they are part of a group like the NAACP or like the Black Panther. They are part of groups that are government funded or Jason Bourne, where they are privately owned people with money that's contracting these people to come out and convince you that you could go out and kill people, have a body, or this and that, and be able to find loopholes to get off of it. Do not follow these people like him and Young Pharaoh. Do not follow them, because trust and believe, when you do your crime, they are going to hangman you. It's still modern. They still lynching niggas out here. Okay, it's called going to jail for the rest of your life, or going to jail for the most of half of your life. By the time you get home, you ain't gonna be able to do much. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to do much. You're gonna be coming out and not knowing what's going on. So don't follow. These are people that soul snatch. They're helping people get snatched up so we can continue to be down. Because if you keep the man, the head of the household, locked up or broke or this and that, and try to keep us on top, we'll never be able to reclaim our inheritance. Okay, but let God, we gotta go through God's son. Okay, and we already know who God's son is. It's Adam. It's the creation of God created him, and who's your creator? Your parents, right? So if God created him, that means that's his son. But we're gonna get into that in a different time. Okay.
Totally removed. They don't have this shows that I believe you should do this video because I have a associate's degree in criminal justice. Yes, and besides that, I did 7 years in prison where I studied the law thoroughly. Jail lawyer. Oh, wait. I thought Gabriel said that he was the jailhouse lawyer. Now he's explaining how you get out, how to get out some stuff. It's getting interesting now. It's getting real interesting.
Now this is the guy that did this video. Let me give him his credit because I took this video off of it. It's a guy, he does a lot of Young Pharaoh, like all he does is Young Pharaoh videos. If Young Pharaoh sneezes, he's gonna do a video about how he sneezed and what he thought about the sneeze. So I got this video from that guy, and let me just give him his credit of taking the video from him. Let me see where this guy is. I don't like to use people footage and not at least give them their credit, because people could say like, hey, take that down or use it. And I don't use people's stuff like to piggyback. I just use it for me to say what I want to say about it. Where is it at? Yeah, I don't know his name, so let me just look for it. That's weird. I cannot find it. And I thought I subscribed to him. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube take people down, because I know I have him subscribed, and now it's not there. Nothing I can really do about that. He usually is on my feed. Let me see if I can find him really quick on my feed, because he does so many Young Pharaoh videos. But even he said, well, he was like, hold up. That's the same thing Young Pharaoh said. He didn't want to get people out, blah, 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 off of serious charges. So you see, this is a scam. Ola. Straight up scam. These people grew up in the same area. They're doing it in the same. That boy name is compromised, just like Young Pharaoh. They changed their names to Muslim names, like how Malcolm X or like Muhammad Ali, they change their names into, once they get into stuff and then they put them on these big platforms and they become legends. This is no different than what Young Pharaoh and them are doing. They change their names into the appropriate names and they go on forward with their contracted deals. And Young Pharaoh is no different, and his friend is no different. Um, so we can understand that this is like a whole CIA operative situation. And that's why Young Pharaoh is constantly promoting the CIA or whatever, saying all this stuff about the CIA because he's a part of it. Okay. Um, what? Yeah, they are China girl. They are trying to divide us from our true creator, which is God. That's why they also say they're gods. And in the 10th commandments, God is already aware of that, and He tells people, "Listen, don't listen to nobody but me." You know, He's telling you there's other gods out there infiltrating to be me. But you know who to listen to, you know who to deal with, and they want to continue to make you not believe that because that's their fate, that's their issue. They have an issue with the chosen people. We didn't want to be, we were chosen, okay? So it's nothing we could do about it. And then here they go, eating and tearing us up alive like mosquito bites. You know what I'm saying? Just draining us of our energy, of our focus, of our they just constantly putting us in anguish because of the situations, the scenarios our families and our loved ones have to go through, and just trying to make something in something that we should not even be fighting for or doing any hamster rat race. We should just be already having abundance of whatever and living our lives. But they changed everything with these school systems, with these testers, with this and that. It's all scams because all of these people that's in the hospitals and like these nurses, they don't even know English, and half the time they're not doing a good job. There's a lot of lives that get lost because, and I don't think it's by accident. This is why they bring those people in. I know somebody that was saying they was working in the health industry, and they brought a lot of people from different states to come in and work on the CVDI patients. It's like, why? Why? Because they're sticking to a protocol. They don't want people to know what. You see what kind of stuff is going on here? But I'm not even going to get into that, okay? Because that stuff will get you flagged, okay? So I just want to wrap it up on Young Pharaoh because I just felt very uncomfortable. I had to get up here and do a live because I'm like, is y'all really saying that he's route transmit, but nobody will cover, nobody will do a video, not one person I could find a video on saying Young Pharaoh resembles, act, or may be playing the character of Katt Williams, which is the weirdest thing in the world because they are identical. Everything is in sync. I'm not going to do another in sync video of them because I showed you plenty of videos of them being in sync. I don't know how much more I can show you. And you're going to skip over that and say Ralph Transvent? I'm beginning to think that these people are all a part of it. Like they help. They like, oh, get in there, damage control. We don't want to put so much connection to that because it'll make it too hot. I see on like Katt Williams lives when I first was saying that Katt Williams is Young Pharaoh. Some people was like on his Katt Williams live and was like, "Hey, are you Young Pharaoh?" And just like a government police officer or CIA or whatever agent, I think that they have to tell the truth on a lot of stuff when they play these roles. So instead of Katt Williams saying, "Hey, I'm not him. That's not me," or "Who is that?" He's gonna say, "Oh, stop saying that guy's name. I don't want you to like." They either laugh it off or they say, "Don't." I'm like, he knows who Young Pharaoh is. How does Katt Williams even know who Young Pharaoh is? He knew exactly who people was talking about because he must have got harassed a lot about it and then it just died down. But he was like, "Oh, don't say that boy name." And every time we saw Katt Williams, he was on a green screen. You saw Jay-Z and Beyonce was on a green screen. These people are not, they're doing green screens for a reason. These people are not actually there. They could have anybody sitting in them chairs and then just put the likeness of Beyonce and the likeness of Jay-Z on those people. Like, what are y'all not getting? It's called CGI. You've seen them do it in the movies. You see them do it all the time. These celebrities is no different than movie actors. Like Beyonce and them are movie actors. So where are we going wrong with this? Everything about them, those names, they don't belong to them. So if today or tomorrow Beyonce say, "Hey, I don't want to do this role no more. I don't want to be a celebrity no more," they could just get rid of her and then put somebody else in her place because guess what? The Beyonce role ain't over yet. That's how it works. It's contracted. It's government contracted, as Young Pharaoh has said. That's what he was trying. He was trying to explain the adrenochrome situation as easy as he could, but it don't stop the fact that he's a part of it. And his eyes bulging out shows clearly that he has some type of adrenaline rush going on. So I was not wrong, and that's why he comes out with the video right after. That's why they do the stuff right after me. Everything I talk about, they do stuff right after me. If you don't pay attention, if you follow the shade room, you should see everything that I talk about. They do right after me. They just make fun of me and sound like, girl, ain't nobody listening to you. And I be looking like that's not fair because people should listen to me because look at this. Like, look at this. Like, that's just throwing it in my face. Yeah, so yeah, the young Pharaoh situation is obvious. I know for a fact now, after he pulled that little run at that Airbnb, after they pulled, and then I didn't even look for the Katt Williams video. It's like it just came on my feed. Like they knew I knew. It's like they know that I was gonna see it and do a video about it. So it's like they push that stuff on my feed. They push it on me because this stuff is connected to our brains. That's why they want to do this because they want to be even more connected. So they want to be 100% in our bodies, in our brain, in our thoughts, in our everything. They are weird. And then sometimes I think that they say that they can even control like our body temperatures and things like that of that nature. So don't think that that's not something that they're trying to do. They're trying to have 100% control of us. They got Big Brother watching us all day, and they love us doing this device stuff so they can have us on all kinds of recordings, so they can face analyze, so they can voice analyze, so they can take everything and try to replicate it. That's what this stuff is for. That's what all the apps are for. All the apps say, "Hey, put this on you. Put this mouse on your face." They're just analyzing and taking your stuff. Okay. Um. I'm just don't want to leave nothing out. I can't remember everything I said the last one. But I think that's all I really had. Um. If y'all think that people wear the same Scully caps and y'all think that people are, same height, same voice, same kick, same they use the same material, same scripted. The things that they talk about is exactly the same. Everything is there, and not one person but me is talking about it. Weird. So I'm beginning to think that people are super compromised with these people, and they're trying to help. Steer you in one direction and steer you in another direction, but they know most of the stuff is true. But then they try to start making you feel like, oh, it's not true because this person ain't that person. Like they start to some of these videos, I'm looking like. And then it's like, okay, so now you're trying to make us look stupid. But in reality, none of this stuff is stupid because look at Kanye West. Like, look at the stuff he's doing. All this mask. It's like, where is this coming from? You know what I'm saying? So it got to be something to it. All right. And then, like, since when, like, with the celebrities, like, since when Halloween, since when Halloween is like, oh, let me dress up as a person. Like since when is Halloween like? Oh, let me be like Sierra being Selena, or the whole cast of The Real playing a pregnant person. Like since when Halloween became let me be a celebrity? Like when did that become Halloween? Because these are mass characters. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that they're just as mass characters as like a cartoon character or like a ghost or like a scary witch. Now you can dress up like a celebrity. It's like it's instead of being a witch, a ghost, and it's like, oh well, you could be a celebrity too because they're all mass ghouls and goblins. Okay, why is everybody dressing up as a celebrity? That's a person. We're supposed to be dressing up as costume, somewhat scary or something like that, or something, you know, even if it's an angel or whatever you want to be, but you're dressing up as a person and a celebrity person, like it has to be a celebrity at that. So we already see the connections that they're trying to give you of these people. These people are masked characters. They're bodysuit characters. Okay, that you could dress up as Halloween as. That's the direction you're going in with Halloween now. I have a lot of stuff where I wanted to show people from this movie Spiral. Where were you July 12th at 9:30 p.m.?
That's what you're here for. That's what I'm here. Some guy came to a meeting drunk, wanted to fight his sponsor, so I hit him. Knocked him clean out. With cop. Probation. Lucky for me was O'Brien. He let the whole thing slide. No. Loyalty.
Do you hear that? He said that because he was a former cop. If you watch the movie Spiral, this guy was a former cop, and he said that he got into it because he's trying to figure out where he was at over a murder. And he's saying his alibi was he was at like a AA something, and a guy tried to knock somebody else, so he knocked him out. He's still on probation from he got released from being he did like some dirty stuff as a cop, and then he got released. So he's saying he's on probation from doing a killing or something as a cop. But anyway, another cop come, but he knows the cop, and the cop let him go. And he's like, you know why? Because of loyalty. And then he's like, oh, loyalty. So you see why all of them have the tattoo loyalty on them, because it means basically if you're one of us, you let whatever dirt we're doing, you either help us or you let us go off of it. So just want to just show you, and this is government police.
Probation, but lucky for me it was O'Brien. He let the whole thing slide. No. Loyalty. You. God loves you, see. More than you.
Now, did you get that? He said, God loves you, Z. And he's like, more than you. Do you hear how they do this in the movies? Because Chris Rock is supposed to be a black, probably native to America. Who knows? All of these people that pretend they're native to America, sometimes they're not, but they portray us. They're portraying us. So they are the native to American black people. And he tells him, God loves you. He's like, more than you. And this is where the issues come from, with not just this guy, Caucasians, but anybody outside of the outland area of Asia and this and that. They have an issue because of that concept. So anyway, let's listen to it one more time.
God loves you, see. God loves you, see. More than you. I can't believe the guy used to be a cop. You shot an innocent guy. The code. You gotta learn how to follow it, or you're gonna spend the rest of your life watching your back.
See, he said, there's a code. He's like, I can't believe that guy used to be a cop. He's like, there's a code. And he's like, well, you better learn how to follow it or you're going to be forever watching your back, okay? Because you can't go against the loyalty, against the code, or you'll be kicked out, killed, or whatever. They're going to get rid of you. So this is why a lot of these people don't blow up what's going on. This is why they stick to the script, because it's loyalty. And if it's not loyalty, you don't stick to the code, you're going to be forever watching your back because they're going to get rid of you. So anyway, I just want to probably end on that. I have a lot of stuff to go over, but I'm gonna save it with the MK Ultra. Maybe I can show this clip really fast because it connects to the MK Ultra CIA situation where they keep connecting the two of the situations. This movie is on Netflix and it's called let me see. I think I showed the name of it in here. Okay, it's called Hypnotic. The movie is called Hypnotic on Netflix. And this is more of an MK Ultra situation, but I'm just going to show you the connection to it and how she connects everything. The movie is super coded. She's going to go through a lot of numbers, and then I'm going to end it on here. But yeah, let's watch this really quick.
This? No. Have you ever tried hypnotherapy? No, I have not. Why the judgment? I'm just not a giving away control person, so I'm. Sure, but here's the wonderful thing about therapy.
So let's stop there. So, because this is the part of decoding. You just can't watch it and be like, okay, I just heard all of that. all of this stuff is coded. So he says, have you ever had any hypnotherapy? He's a therapist. He said, have you ever had any hypnotherapy before? And she's like, no, because I don't like to give up my control. So you're basically, she's saying, as she knows, doing this is like giving over my control of my body to you, the hypnotherapist. But let's continue.
Right. Only you can control your subconscious.
So you see how he say that even if I take control of your body, you always still have control of your subconscious. Just like the movie Get Out, where the guy was there and he was able to see what was going on all the way down to his subconscious. But his actual control of his real conscious of his appearance was being overtaken by someone else. So it's two components that is a part of your body, which is your most likely your Holy Spirit, and then your actual like the car, the vessel. So they can take over your vessel, but your inner, which probably goes out, you always are going to be that. You're always going to have control of that. So anyway, let's continue.
So here's the wonderful thing about therapy. Right? Only you can control your subconscious. So sure. No, I have not. Why the judgment? I'm just not a giving away control person, so I'm. Sure, but here's the wonderful thing about therapy. Right? Only you can control your subconscious. So you're in control of the whole time. And it's an excellent tool for people who have suffered trauma. Scenario and stuff. Just fingers.
Now I'm going to rewind to where she said I'm going to rewind to why he suggested this, which what she went through.
Met in college.
What her trauma was. So I didn't show that first. So I said, let me show you what the trauma was.
Miscarriage.
She had a miscarriage.
It was 6 months along,
So you hear it? She said actually she was 6 months along. The number 6, she's going to be very potent with this, all right, with her trauma. She was 6 months along and had a stillbirth, right?
Actually, I was 6 months along, so it was a stillbirth. His name was Daniel.
Daniel, that's a biblical name.
I spent 33 minutes with him.
And she got to spend 33 minutes with him. So we got the 6 months, we got the name Dan, like the Book of Dan or whatever. And then like Danish people, which is Dutch Danish. And she got to spend 33 minutes with him, right? And this is when he asked her, well, do you want to do hypnotherapy? Because it helps with the trauma. Where they take over your outer body, but your inner soul is always in your possession. So anyway, yeah, so now if you watch the movie, I'm going to show you the part where she starts to get hit on what's going on, right? So she knows that now the guy did the hypnotherapy on her. She ended up murdering somebody. She didn't know, but then eventually she started to dream and figure out some things that went down during a time she didn't have no control over her actual body. Anyway, watch the movie, but here goes another part where it gets MK My Ultra CIA. This is how they start to tell you the truth in the movies. Okay?
What's today's date? It's the 6th.
Now see how she writes March 6th? So she asks her, what's today's date? And she said it's the 6th. And then she writes down March and then puts 6. And you know the month of March is 3. So that's 3-6 right there, right? She went to another therapist to see if this therapist could reverse what that first therapist did because she was murdering and doing. She found out this guy was crazy and he was taking over his therapy, her body, and using it in a negative way, which made her murder. So she tried to seek another therapist where she could reverse, but the therapist could not reverse it, but she was able to set a different trigger in her to overset another trigger, but she couldn't stop none of his triggers, but set it her own trigger instead of trying anyway. So she started doing research on this therapist, and it became very coded with the 3-6, and anyway. What's today's date? It's the 6th. I have to go. No, wait. There's one more thing I could try. I can't remove all of his suggestions. Maybe I could plan something of my own. Like a counter trigger. Exactly. Now you see how she's saying that he have a lot of triggers in her. So it's the same thing when we watch these videos, when we watch these movies, when we watch the music. It triggers you. It has trigger coding in it. So this is how it's easy to trigger you people. Once you listen to a good mood music, you're in a good mood. When you listen to sad music, you're in a sad mood. When you listen to music where you want to bang on somebody, you're probably going to go bang on somebody. It's triggering things that they are trying to push on you all day, every day through these devices, through these shows. Anyway, let's keep going. And you see how it says, CIA? She's looking him up. His name is Xavier, which is like the X-Men with the X-Men Xavier, Dr. Xavier. So you already know that this name is probably triggered and coded for a reason. Sullivan is like a Jewish type name. It's all coded into Germany, whatever. Xavier is a big name for hypnotherapist, MK Ultra situations. That's why they had it in the X-Men where he was the main person in people's heads. It was able to like take over their minds or whatever and take over their bodies when they got out of control. It's no different than what they're saying here. And then they go on to show you that he is a part of CIA training and MK Ultra. Okay? And look how shocked she is. She's like, oh my God. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and you know, his apartment where he lived, it was like 10, 10, whatever. So you already know the number of 10, what it means to them. 10 is like by the 10th power. Like everything is to the 10th power with them. So because it makes you go backwards. Everything like exponents, like and it's hard to explain, but that's the mathematics on that, right? So that's so I'm gonna leave it like that. Just know I just wanted to defend my work because my creativity and the work that I put in is sad that it gets overlooked and then people try to push out things that like it. I mean, I don't. They didn't have any good footage to go along with the Ralph Transit. It was just just threw it on him and said his voice. Like their voices is all fake anyway. They could use voice monitors. As I told you, if you look at a lot of these YouTube, like not YouTube, but like any kind of like clips on Shade Room and stuff, they have like this guy that puts on all these different voices, and it's like a fat guy. It's like that black guy from Saturday Night Live, and all kinds of people that's using these voices. It's because they're using voice monitors. They're not really changing no voices. Like, or they're studying like the Chinese where they're mimicking. They have their ways. They know how to do this. So to say that they have the same voice is boring. Okay, boring. Do they resemble? Can they be from the same country, same culture, same people that's harassing us? From the incubator baby, government baby making people that don't have no real parents? Yes, they could be from the same code. But to sit there and say that Ralph Tresvant is Young Pharaoh and don't never ever acknowledge Katt Williams being that Young Pharaoh first, the first main person that's playing him, is just a joke in my eyes. And that's why I had to just come and defend my work because I'm like, why am I the only person saying this? And why is people going over other things? Like, no way. So I felt like this was just, they're just like a part of it. Like, I feel like they're just a part of it and they're helping out, keeping the trying to separate the young Pharaoh and Katt Williams because it's probably so obvious that they just don't want nobody touching it, and they're all listening to whoever they work for, and they're not touching it. Because I should see a lot more videos or hearing in just me. It's just me because I'm the only real person on YouTube anyway. It's probably other real people that has smaller pages, but people with bigger pages and bigger platforms that's getting heard, yeah, they're not native to America. Not even close. Ask them where they're from. Ask them where their mother's from. Ask them where their grandmother's from. It's not going to be America. One of the three. One of the three is going to be from somewhere else. So, yeah, that's all I really have, guys. I'm glad that you guys stayed with me. I'm glad. I'm glad that the girl hit me on Instagram because I didn't even know my voice was not being heard. So I would have just left, and I don't even see the video. I don't even know if this is going to stay. I hope this goes to my page because the last video did not go to my page. I don't see it. But I'm glad that you guys let me know because I did not realize my voice was not up there, and I literally was just having a I'm like, oh, and I'm dancing, and that was just embarrassing. So I'm glad that you guys can hear me and that you stuck with me. And I'm gonna end my night. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. And like the video as much as you can so we get spread it out so people could hear my rant about Katt Williams being young Pharaoh, especially young Pharaoh going to that Airbnb and playing that role on that stage and not letting nobody see him until it was done and then inviting his friends back to that little Airbnb and coming home. Didn't tell us nothing about it, just slipped in there and tried to slip out. Yeah, so share, like it as much as you can so it can share out. Like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel so you can catch some of my lives because I'm gonna try to come live a little bit more. My next live is going to be about history, so I am going to try to start getting a way where people could call in or come in probably co-talk with me if a lot of people that they have. I feel like they have a lot to say in their platforms as well as a great, and if we could start having like a corresponding chat. I'm working on it. As you can see, I'm trying to get into the laptop, so hopefully I can start sharing my screen and people could call in or whatever, and I could hear you guys' opinion about some things, or if you have some information, because the last video I did on Taylor Girl, if that's her name, Taylor Girls and Erica Banks, people was giving me a lot of more information where Erica Banks referenced the Taylor Girl. So it's obvious. They always reference each other but don't reference nobody else. The next video that I do, they do the same thing. I'm going to do a celebrity video on, what's this girl name? Lotto, Big Lotto. She changed her name because she signed that contract. So, of course, she got the casino name of 777, which is 21 Lotto. I'm going to do a video on her. And the people that I believe she's playing, they reference each other, no one else. And someone else did inbox me on Instagram. My Instagram is at number one eye candy. So be free to jump in my inbox. I'll answer everybody that I get. It's like not so many. It's like a handful of people. But, the more the merrier. Join in with any information or any people that you think I could look into because I might not do it right away because it takes time. I have to actually look into it and figure out what's the connections and stuff like that. And if I feel like it's good enough, I will eventually do a video on it. But the also the Kelly Price, somebody came in my inbox for her. Shout out to you, where she showed me that Kelly Price was doing a reality show on, I believe, Oxygen. It was like R&B divas, and she had a bad attitude and behaving wild on that reality show. So I'm not. She was like she's not shocked that she ended up on Love and Hip Hop playing the role as Akbar. Akbar V, which is a made up name, and it sounds very Muslim. Like, come on, y'all gotta put two and two together. We're gonna start putting two and two together. We're gonna get these gypsies. We're gonna get these people, and it's not all of them. It's just the people that's playing the role. And some of you people that do go into the mosque and stuff, like y'all be unbeknownst, but y'all are a part of it in a way where they want us all to be giving our energy and our praise to what they believe in. But hopefully that not here. Go back there with that. You know what I'm saying? You could be here, but not doing what these people are doing. And you could be here and worship whichever you worship, but don't try to infiltrate and say, hey, what we're doing here, we should not be doing, and we should be doing what you guys do over in Asia, Saudi, or over there. Don't leave the two worlds separate. Like you want to do what you want to do. We're not telling you over there, hey, do what we doing. So what are y'all doing over here? But anyway, so let me read some of these comments. They said that so they're saying that Ariana Grande in Movie Long. I don't know who that is, but I'll look into it. Okay. They also say Polo G and Little Perfect. Yeah, Polo G is definitely like just right off the back. Him and his mom. Once you got the mother involved too, it's just fake mom, fake families all set up. That he's definitely probably going to be going on to play a lot of roles. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing probably more than one person. Um, these young people, they're going to have them working a lot. The younger crowd, they're going to come in to double the work. Okay, because of now that the word is out, and it seems like they don't mind the word being out because they're starting to say, hey, Illuminati. They're starting to say it in their music. They're starting to say it's like they're trying to bring it to the forefront and want you guys to accept it. And we should not be accepting this. But, for entertainment, I see you guys saying, like, it's just entertainment, but you got to understand it's more than that to them. And they have a way with sucking the energy and messing with your psyche. So you got to be very careful with saying, oh, it's just entertainment. Is it? Because once you get into an altercation, are you going to handle it the way how you should be handling it, or are you going to go back into the music you listen to and say, I'm going to bang on this nigga? I'm going to bang on him. You ain't going to be thinking about, what? It's not that serious. I got things to do. No, you're going to be going back into what you're being taught, thinking, oh, it's just entertainment until it gets into your real life. And then you do what you do what you learn unconsciously, not unconsciously, but not subconsciously, but consciously, you moving on their time. But anyway, I can't really explain much of that right now because I'll be here for another hour and I want to wrap this up. Um, Thank you, China Girl. Thank you, Natalie Romero. Thank you, Spawn in 2020s. And anybody else that's here, Nike 316. I appreciate you guys leaving all these comments. I'm going to try to take some pictures of these comments so I can read some because as soon as the live is over, the comments disappear, which sucks because I really be wanting to Eddie Machete. Hey, what's up? And don't think for one second I don't like people that's like not probably native from America. Some of you people most likely are mixed. And a lot of people are just not from here at all. And I respect everybody. But the people that are running scams and being scheming skeezers, I'm going to be blowing you guys up. That's just what I do for a living. So like, share, subscribe, and I'm getting out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of you guys' night, all right?